fans, too many fans, too many fans, too many fans. It's two fans in a pod. Hands to my God, we keep it tight with a squad. All the energy right, we keep it real on the blog. Touching on topics, love to cock sharp and chat about lots. More blessings to the power above. From all the football to life of the pitch, we're gonna dive into it, breaking it down. All the wins, all the misses. Yeah, we're here for the fans. You gotta love them to win them. It's two fans in a pod. It's two. Check it, two fans in a pod. It's two fans in a two fans in a two fans in a pod.
Speak of the devil.
Yeah.
We are in the Champions League.
Yeah, I was reading that. Yeah, I was gonna
Chelsea.
say, yeah, you guys did end the season strong. You guys really did well.
Mate, we didn't make it easy for ourselves, but to be honest, I don't care how it happens, it happens. You know, we've been playing dirty, we've been riding out 1-0 goal, like score lines
Yeah.
recently. We haven't had a good attacking potency. We've missed out on Nicholas Jackson, although ironically enough, we actually play better without him. But somehow the team today just came in and just made it happen. They just made it happen.
Yeah. Your team really. I was expecting Forest to win. Actually, I was expecting Forest to win.
I know, right? I mean, it was incredible because, it's not just the fact that we're playing against Forest, but the fact that we're playing away as well is something that was quite treacherous because we haven't really done that well, away from home the last couple of games, actually. I think there's about 7 to 8 games that we've played during this year. This is the beginning of January that hasn't really gone in our favor. We've been doing pretty well at home, but not so much.
Yeah, it's a away thing. Yeah, away is tough.
So.
It's tough in the Premier League. Away games can be tough. Tough games.
They tend to be, especially with certain teams. I think Nottingham Forest is one of those teams that you don't want to go on their ground to play football. Newcastle is another one. Liverpool's another great one. So there's a bunch of teams that are just, terrible to play on their ground. It's scary. So the fact that we managed to do it at Nottingham Forest,
yeah,
hats off to the boys.
Yeah, that's good. Good performance.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's welcome along onto another episode of Two Fans in a Pod with your hosts, Austin Isagi and Rex.
Sorry, Rex. Sorry.
Rex, how you doing? How you doing, Rex?
Not too bad. Yeah, not too bad.
That's
Not
good.
too bad. Sorry, I was sorry, forgive me. I was just looking at some, irritating news. So, it's been very underwhelming. And as you can tell, I didn't watch the Arsenal game, because I didn't care for it. So, Rex Curry.
Yeah, we're joined as always by Superfan Mr. Wednesday, fans of a first knowledge for football, all things football related. It's the end of the season, guys. I mean, we made it. We made it to the end. It's been a long old season. I think for me specifically, it's been the weirdest season I think it's been like no more than 20 years now. I've been supporting football since I was 5, so nearly 25 years. In 25 years of being involved in football, or being in the whole football world, this for me has been the weirdest season. Following the Premier League, it's just been a crazy season.
That's what makes it weird for you, though. What makes it weird for you? What is it that kind of gives you that impression?
So for me, it's like the status quo. The original status quo has changed. So how kind of the original Big Six or the original Big Four, there isn't as such a Big Four or Big Six teams, and how it's kind of like the Premier League's got more competitive in a way. I'll say maybe there's not as good players as previous years, but in terms of the competitiveness and how any team could beat any team, you just have to perform on the day and not really be complacent. As shown, there's been many strange results, strange performances, strange teams that shouldn't be in the bottom half, they are, and vice versa.
Yeah.
Teams that you wouldn't expect to be in the top 7, top 8, but they're there. And even now, I think every trophy was won pretty much by the underdog or the team that you didn't expect to be winning those titles. Newcastle, Palace, Liverpool.
Mm.
I don't know how many people expect them to win a title this year.
Yeah.
Nobody did. No one.
Yeah, it's
No
the
one.
Europa League as well. So it's been a weird old season. I don't even know how to even
Yeah.
describe it really. But
It's been a bad
it's been
season.
fun for the neutrals. I think it's been fun for football, the game in general. How in a way, because you don't want the
Unpredictable.
status quo. Yeah, unpredictable. You want that as a football fan. You kind of want that to the unpredictability. You don't want it to be the
Mm.
same team winning every time. It really adds more to the game. But at the same time, the big teams, you kind of want them to be winning, especially. It's a hard one. It's been a weird all season for me. It's yeah.
Mm.
Let me
I
just
think
say,
I
I'm glad. It was a long season. I'm glad it's over now. And then they proceed to the next season. Yeah, pre-season. So
Well, I think I could agree with you on that, actually. I say some of the big changes that's happened this season has to, as you mentioned, just teams, mid-table teams suddenly presented in major, competitive force compared to the original top six or top four. You've seen a major drop off of some of the top teams, actually, Tottenham and Manchester being one of them. And a sudden I think one thing that's really stood out to me is the way football is played, the tactics that are being played. I think gone are the good old days where positional play sort of dominated the way that football was conducted, and it still does. Don't get me wrong. I mean, it's the fact that Chelsea and Man City are the top, are third and fourth respectively, as well as Arsenal and Liverpool to some degree. I think they have more of that positional type of play. I think even though those teams are still occupying those positions, they've had to adapt because some of the other teams are also adopting different approaches towards playing them. I think Nottingham Forest is a perfect example of it, right? Where the more you kind of try and press them within their own half, the better they seem to play. I was actually listening to the commentary today. Something they said was very interesting was that every single time that Nottingham Forest has had less than 55 or 44% possession, they've actually always won the games. And usually, when they don't have that much possession, when they do have more possession, they tend not to play so well. And you can see it with the way that they played today against Chelsea because they had more of the ball than we did. Yet somehow we managed to score against them. It's almost like they weren't really, like accommodating of that approach to football. But nevertheless, the style of football is evolving right now. You can't really 100% rely on the positional play approach, although it's still the main way to go forward. I wonder how things are going to be next season, all things considered, because really
mm,
it's been
yeah,
radically different.
yeah, I agree completely. Football's changed, as you said, but I think next season
Yeah.
it'll be interesting how it depends on the signings, different signings, and how different teams and whether these teams, like Brighton, the Bournemouth, and Brentford, the teams that are kind of finishing the top 10, can they keep it up next year, or is it that it'd be interesting
It
to see
depends on a couple of
the
things.
dynamics.
It depends
Yeah.
on a couple of things. I think certainly it depends on whether they can keep their players and whether they can keep their managers. I think you look at the
Mm.
situation with Bournemouth being a perfect example. They've lost what's his name? What's the name of that kid actually? Dean Houston to Real Madrid. He was
Oh
quite a
yes,
stellar,
yeah, he
player
had
this
this
season.
pre-signed, didn't he? Contract, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
And they
it's a
brought
good
and
signing.
Kirkus
Mm.
and Kirkus is about to go to Liverpool as well for left back positions. And potentially, Tottenham might actually come in for their manager. So, there's
Yeah,
going
I
to
could see
be
that one. Yeah,
so
definitely.
if that I think they would be successful if they're able to keep the management and the players, and if they could do some, sensible spending. But nevertheless, if they do some sensible spending, they keep their managers and their original superstar players. Yes, I can see them competing for next season. But to be honest, I don't see them sticking around for too long. I think there's a major opportunity out there for them to step up. Many of these big teams are looking to regroup, get new players and get new management. Like I said, Tottenham being a perfect example. I don't see them replicating the same thing, but time will tell.
Yeah, 'cause I think we discussed in the previous episode about Brighton, their recruitment is in in terms of recruiters, the team with the best recruitment is Brighton. They all seem to get
Yeah,
players on the
yeah,
cheap, good
agreed.
players, and then the
Yeah,
manager as well. The way they get these, I don't even know where they scout these managers and players. So I feel like Brighton is that team that will kind of be sustainable the way they look. That longevity, they always kind of be top 10 the way they play, as long as they don't lose their key players.
How
I
old
think
is he, by
Brighton,
the
the
way?
way they play,
Yeah. Sorry, how old is he, the manager? How old is he?
so
Fabian
Rex, can't quite hear
Who,
you.
who are you talking
How
about?
old is the
How old
manager?
is this?
The Brighton
Is it
manager, how old is he?
the Brighton manager? He's on the young side,
Oh,
actually. He's a very young guy. Give me
he's
one
young.
second. Let me
He's
see.
the youngest manager. He's the youngest manager in history, isn't it? Isn't he the youngest ever manager in the Premier
Yeah,
League? I think
yeah.
he's the
I don't know
youngest.
about
Yeah,
in the Premier League, definitely. I don't know about in history. So I think his
yeah,
name is
definitely in the Premier League.
Fabian Hustler,
Yeah,
Yeah,
a German guy.
yeah.
Fabian Hustler.
Well,
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
he,
younger than some of the players. He's younger than some of the players for the team, right? Isn't
Lewis
he?
Dunk being one of them, I think.
Yeah.
He's 32
And
years
look,
old.
it's Milner. It's Milner not at Brighton. He was before.
I think he's still there
Well,
now,
Yeah,
actually.
yeah,
he's still
Milner's
there.
older
He's
than
still there.
Milner's definitely older than Milner.
The guy's 32 years old.
32. He can still be
Yeah.
playing. Did he retire early or something? He can still be playing.
I mean,
But I've been impressed. I've been impressed by the recruitment and manager, the players, the whole setup. Brighton, they've been
Yeah, they brought in some pretty decent
yeah,
players this year. I think Baleba being one of the more standout
yeah,
performers. Then of course there's
yeah.
that that
Good.
Brazilian fella whose name I can't remember. I'm trying to find him actually.
Is
Jorginho
it
Rutter. Uh,
Pedro?
João Pedro has been around for like
He's
two
been good.
seasons now, actually. So he's
Yeah,
actually pretty good, actually. I heard that apparently we were looking into purchasing him recently, but that was just a rumor. So yeah,
yeah.
Who's getting
they
Belieber?
both.
Sorry.
But
Who's getting Belieber?
Who's getting Belieber? You think he's gonna leave?
He's the next big thing, after
he's
Casado. So,
young.
yeah.
He's too young for me. For me, he needs a couple of years at Brighton. He needs to have a couple more seasons. He's in like 21 or something. 20.
Mm.
I don't know.
I'm actually
I think
looking. I'm actually looking him up right now so I can
Sorry
find
to
out
interrupt.
exactly how old he is.
Sorry to interrupt.
Go on.
Yeah. He is
he's
21.
very young.
Right? 21.
Yeah, he's quite young. So I thought
Yeah.
for me, I would stay at Brighton for a few more seasons. Like at least
Yeah.
a couple seasons, maybe two more seasons. Then the
I
big move will
thought
come a
about
bit
that.
early. Yeah.
I don't know about that actually. I mean, seeing what Chelsea has done this season with the sort of recruitment we've done, I'd say that there is a real push for the more younger, potentially competent players as opposed to the older types. I mean, I'll be curious to know what you guys think, really, because I'd say that younger right now is actually the better option as opposed to getting the more experienced types who would demand a heck load of money and may not necessarily, compete as much as you would like.
Yeah.
I mean, gone are the good old days where that used to be the case. You don't see that anymore nowadays. I think everybody's pushing for younger, less established players with high potential. And you see that obviously with Brighton. It's the reason why we just said here that, the recruitment has been bang on. So
Yeah.
I don't think he's too young. He could potentially go to a much better team in a few years, in a few short years. Probably this summer. Who knows? Of course, Brighton's going to fleece whoever shows up. But
Yeah.
what do you guys think? Do you think that's the way football is heading now? Do you think are we going to see more and more younger players take the stage?
Personally speaking, yeah, I would say so. For me, yeah, I think we're already seeing it. We've been seeing it over the last 5 or so years. It's been a lot of teams. Their recruitment is focused and they're investing heavily on kind of players under 25, and because they know that those players, they want to kind of develop themselves, prove themselves, and develop their careers.
They make a profit afterwards.
Yeah, but at the same time,
big money.
yeah, but at the same time, you need the elderly players, the more experienced players, to have the balance to guide the younger players. So you need a balanced squad that helps. I think most teams, the teams that win titles, they have a balanced squad, don't they? Like a Liverpool squad, they have the experience, they have the youth. So it's just that cohesion that really helps.
See, I tend to disagree to some degree. if I may, I like to say I think I
Yeah.
tend to disagree to some degree because I feel like I can speak to this because of recent experiences I've had at Chelsea. Just a few
Mm.
seasons ago, we had the likes of uh, that French guy Aubameyang. We had Aubameyang. We had this guy in defense whose name I can't remember now. Actually, we had a bunch of older heads in the team.
Badiashile.
Mm.
It's not Badiashile, it's another defender actually. Koulibaly, that's him. We had these
Oh yeah.
older
Koulibaly.
experienced
Oh
players.
yeah,
Mm.
forgot
Yeah,
about
we had
him.
some older experienced heads of the team who were earning a boatload of money, and yet somehow they weren't performing to the best. Now, maybe you could argue it was just due to the fact that we're having like a transition period, but nevertheless, they didn't really live up to the price tag that they were brought in for and the amount of money they were being paid. They weren't really performing to that level. I mean, Aubameyang, for the most part, was much worse than Nkunku this season, if I'm honest with you. And
Mm.
I think that the direction that we're headed now, which is basically getting much younger players, getting them on low wages and giving them that incentivized contract approach, it seems to bring out the best in terms of their capabilities. Now, still, I still agree, which I think there's something to be said for experience, but I guess it makes sense. I guess the one caveat I would say is that Chelsea are kind of in a transition period, so it makes sense for us
Mm.
to go down that route of getting younger players, and maybe sometime later on down the line, when they're much older, they have the experience within the squad to be able to make an impression on the team. Say if they were to bring in new younger players, the likes of Levi Colwell, be able to, put them under their wing. You got people like Cole Palmer as well, Nicholas Jackson, and so on and so forth. By that point in time, they're much more established. They've had enough
Yeah,
experience within the team to do that. So yeah, I think if you're gonna go young, I'd say probably go. It's probably the best time to do this is when you're in a transition period. I think right now, Manchester United, and I was actually talking to my brother about this not too long ago
Yeah.
because he was telling me that the way they should go is probably getting like some average players in order to see kind of like ride out the next couple of seasons to bring them back to the top. And I think you know what, do what Chelsea did. Get some younger players. Get rid of the older squad. Obviously finance is an issue right now. Get a cap. Get a, like salary cap going on, and say, okay, we're not going to spend more than this for salary. We're going to promote some youthful players from the academy, and we're going to buy some younger players from other places. I mean, this is the best time to do it because it seems like, with a data-driven approach, you can quite easily fetch yourself a decent player who's on the young side for a decent amount of money. So, I mean, that's what we've done, and we've been able to land, the sort of players that we have now, like, Cole Palmer, Estevan Willian, what's it called, Kendrick Pyers, and, even, what's his name? Um, Moises
What about that guy?
Caicedo.
What about that guy, the Spanish guy? What's his name? Marco. Is it Marco? Marco Q.
Mark Yu.
He didn't. He used to play for, was it Barcelona or somewhere like that?
Yeah, he used to play for
Barcelona.
Barcelona. They actually
Yeah,
wanted
he's
to
a good
keep
player.
him.
He's a good player. Yeah.
Yeah, they actually wanted to keep him before he left. He's sort of in
Yeah.
that vein of a power forward, and he's a
Technical.
good runner. Yeah,
Yeah.
very technical, very solid.
Technical player. Yeah.
I think once he fills out his body, he'll be able to kind of reach the heights of something like Douglas Costa or some of the not Douglas Costa. There's another player that I had in mind, but
Mm.
basically players who have like he seems to me more like a Gyökeres type, although with a little bit more skill.
Okay.
That's what he looks
Okay.
like to
Yeah.
me
Yeah.
anyway. So I reckon that's what he's
How,
going to turn into eventually.
how old is he? How old is the player? How old is Mark Q?
You,
He's
I'm
quite
gonna
young.
say,
Young
I'm gonna
player.
say 19. I'm gonna say
Yeah.
19,
I feel like
19
he's
or
not even
20.
20 yet. Yeah.
He's on the very young side,
Mm.
actually. I'm just pulling up his details. 19
Because he
years
featured
old.
a lot. Oh, what? See, this is good. He's still got
Yeah,
15 years in the game. He featured a lot in the Europa Conference League for you guys.
yeah.
So he scored quite
I
a few
mean,
goals in that
he has scored
competition.
quite a good. He's scored quite a couple of goals, and to be honest, we've really missed him this last half of the season. I think ever since his injury coming in January, we
Mm.
could have used a player like him, especially behind the likes of Nicholas Jackson, because I think part of the reason he hasn't really performed well is because he's been the lone gunman of the team who's been required to perform
Yeah.
week in week out without any kind of rest. And I think with Mark you get somebody who can come in and step in whenever necessary in order to take off the load. Unfortunately, Kuku hasn't really stepped up because either because he doesn't fit the way we play, or because
Yeah.
he's not running enough, or because he's not really a number nine per se. He's more like a 10 or 9.5. So he doesn't really fit the system that we play. But with somebody like Mark we could have had somebody who could fill in quite well.
Yeah. I would even go as far as to saying that he should play in the final because he's the
Yeah,
one that's made. He's the one that kind of was playing, the games until I even give him a chance in the final to play.
Well, if it comes to that, I reckon they would. I mean, he's only just come back from injury. From what I understand, he was on the substitutes bench today in our game against Nottingham Forest. But if he's not, if he's not, I don't think they're going to rush him. Ultimately, I don't think they need to rush him. I mean,
Yeah.
come next Wednesday, we're probably going to start off with Nicholas Jackson, and maybe in the last 10 minutes or so, they might bring him on just to run around for a bit.
Yeah,
It'll be good for him.
Give him at least half an hour.
Yeah,
it'd be good. I mean, he's used to playing Spanish teams. He should know better, you know. He should know that style. So
Yeah, I think it.
Conference League.
The Conference League. Yeah, I think the Conference League next Wednesday. We're going to be playing against Atletico Bilbao. Your boy, what's his name?
No, Betis. He's going to be
No,
Anthony.
Real Betis. Yes,
Anthony,
your boy Anthony's going to be.
Yeah.
He's definitely going to show up. I think he's going to come in and spoil the show. I think he's been doing pretty well there ever since he moved. I've noticed a trend, and I don't know if you've noticed this, Rex. Actually, you guys should probably notice this. I've noticed a trend that every single player that has left Manchester United has done well.
It's true. You can't argue that. It's true. It's it's
You know,
clear.
somebody just won the Scudetto.
Yeah. No, well done to him. Honestly, I'm so happy for him. I'm so happy for he's such a great player. When you play the system around him, the mindset, he always gave his 100% every game. So I'm happy that he's won a title. He's going to succeed in. Yeah, that's all you want, really. Yeah.
Is that not just down to elite managing by Conte? Getting the best out of
I think it's partly that. Remember, like I said all the Manchester United players that have left Manchester have done well. So yes, you could argue there. You could say that, yeah, Conte being an elite manager has got the best out of him. But you could also say the same thing about Anthony. You could say the same thing about Rashford. You could say the same thing about Jadon Sancho. Basically, anybody who's left Manchester United the last couple of weeks, recently, they're playing well. They're doing well for some reason. So I think I think fundamentally it's down to the way Manchester United currently is as a club. And I say this to bring this up because it actually occurred to me recently, this thought process, when I was thinking about this guy, Garnacho, potentially coming to Chelsea. I don't know if you guys were aware, but last January, we're very keen on him because we're looking for like a left winger. And potentially we might go in for him again this summer. So I'm thinking, well, obviously, everybody's pissed off at him over there because he's not playing the way you guys hope, and he's pissing off a bunch of people. I'm wondering if he comes to Chelsea.
Yeah.
Huh? You don't think he's that good?
I can't say it. I can't say it, honestly speaking.
That bicycle kick he scored got into his head. Like that bicycle against Everton, on Saturday thought, I'm the guy. I'm the next CR7. No. You're not.
Yeah.
A lot of players better idol Ronaldo. I understand that, but
he definitely strikes me as the kind of person he definitely strikes me as the kind of person who feels himself a little bit too much. However, he does have the attributes of what could potentially be a world-class player someday. I mean, he's only 20 years old right now, and I reckon that if we were to buy somebody like him and bring him to Chelsea, and have him in a much more stable environment with people who are around his age, who are trying to win something and are competitive, potentially he could realize that potential. And even if he doesn't, we could sell him for a cool amount of money. That's the way I think that's the way the board is thinking at this point in time.
Well,
although
Chelsea
if I were to have my pick, I'd probably go for Bino Gittins from Borussia Dortmund. Sorry, continue.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah, I know that guy. He's been quite good. Yeah, didn't he play in UK before, and then he went away to Germany?
He is an English player. I think he went to. I don't know what I don't recall what his pathway was, if I'm honest with you. But he does play quite well in Germany, and he's been doing quite well in that left wing. So, if given his skill set, I think we could do with a player like that who's got the trickery and pace and capacity to shoot in the same sort of in that Maresca mold in terms of what he likes in a winger. I think he would suit us quite well. So.
Yeah.
Do you think on that? Do you think Sancho will stay he's on loan, but do you think Chelsea will end up signing him next season?
Honestly, given what I've seen so far in this team, I don't think he's going to be playing. If we got Sancho under Pochettino's reign, I probably would say yes, he would stick around. I think it makes sense in that team where you got a 4 in the back system, where the wingers, where the sort of like fullbacks are bombing forward and backwards and forwards. And then he can have that avenue. He can have somebody to provide him with the width or whether inside or outside the lanes in order to pass the ball or do some trickery or cause some sort of diversion, whatever the case may be. If we had that style of football going on here at Chelsea, I would say yes, 100%. He's going to stick around. But Maresca is a different system. His system usually puts you as a winger in a position where you're going 2v2. Ideally, you want to be in a 2v1 situation, but what ends up happening, as you noticed, if you've watched Chelsea games, most of the teams have figured this out. What they do is they put two defenders on like either wingers. It makes it difficult for them to get around. Madueke does his job pretty well for the most part, but Jadon Sancho, his issue is that he doesn't have the pace. So he might dribble the first person, but then he doesn't have the acceleration pace to get away from them and then cross the ball. If he had that, then we'd probably see if he had that, we'd probably see more, assists from him. And I think he's a great player in that sense. But I just think the system we have is not going to suit him, unfortunately.
Like I love Madueke, the way he travels so fast with the ball. When he's on the ball, his movement, his pace, but on the ball, his movement is, I think, one of the best in the league, the way he plays. And he has that acceleration. I just feel like he could score more goals, Madueke, but for sure he's got potential. He's got a lot of potential.
He certainly does, actually. He certainly does. I mean, the fact that he's been called up to the England squad on 2 occasions now is a testament to how good he is. So I think that he does have the potential to be one of the best England wingers around right now, especially with what's his name, Raheem Sterling, sort of being phased out of the team right now. I think him coming in to take on that position, especially now that he's discovered his capacity on the left-hand side as well, he could get even further than Gordon on that side as well, which means you can play both him and Saka on the wings. So it gives you a lot more options in terms of what you could do with the team. He does have a lot of potential. Although, to be fair, he's one of the more frustrating players that I've seen in that team because his decision-making at times can be quite atrocious.
Talking about Madueke, right?
Yeah, talking about Madueke, yeah. There are times when he should pass the ball when he doesn't pass the ball. There's times when he should pass the ball and he doesn't pass it. There are times when he should shoot that he doesn't shoot. And when him and Sancho have this, like the opposite problems. Like Sancho
he's got good decision making.
Sancho was always looking for the assist. He's always looking to assist. He's looking to pass the ball to somebody to score all the time. And sometimes you're like, man, you know what? If you actually decided to shoot to this occasion, you might actually score. Whereas in Madueke's situation, where he's supposed to pass the ball, he is shooting. And you're like, man, I'm like, brothers, you guys need to talk because I think you can fix each other's problems. If you combine the two of them, you get the perfect wing.
Yeah,
that's the way I see it. Yeah.
Definitely. That's why I feel like they can play in the same team, though. So they could be playing on the same team. So one could be left wing, one could be right wing, and then you've got this attacking midfielder, or Cole Palmer these days, who's more kind of a playmaker and a goal scorer, goal scorer from the midfield, box to box attacking midfielder.
Yeah, you can see that situation. I can definitely imagine a scenario where Madueke plays on the right wing, Sancho plays on the left wing, and you got Cole Palmer orchestrating things in the middle. So kind of like in a 4-3-3 style. Or 4-2-3-1 style. So I think they have the potential. But if you're asking me about Sancho, going back to the question you asked earlier, if you're asking me about Sancho as it pertains to the current Chelsea team, I don't think it's going to work because the style just doesn't fit him. I think he should definitely go back to Borussia Dortmund.
Yeah, I was thinking that. So I think Germany, just Germany, that German playing, the way he's more free in the way he plays, and I feel like the Premier League's too physical in a way. It's too kind of fast-paced. It's too fast-paced for him, his style of game.
Yeah, if you took him to Germany and I think he would do very well in Spain. Oh my God, Jadon Sancho in Spain.
Oh yeah. He's so
disgusting. Oh God.
Agreed.
I think it would be amazing out there. But I can see Germany more. I can see him maybe even go to Bayern Munich. I can see him going to Germany more than going to Spain.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, it's already proven. It's been done and dusted. We've already tested it. We've seen the sample size, so it's not a question of will he. We know that he's going to do well in Germany. But I think if we were to extend that to other leagues in the country in Europe, you could potentially see him doing well in Spain. He could do well in France. He could do well in Italy. Although I think Italy will be too slow for him. But definitely, Germany and Spain are places I think he's going to do well if he moves on.
Yeah, for sure. So Harden Kunku's leaving. Jackson's there, and Chelsea on the market for another striker, number 9.
Well, we are. It's been one of the major pain points for us this season. I think Jackson, despite his best efforts, has been quite a frustrating target man up front. And he's really underperformed his XG, and I think I mean, don't get me wrong, he does quite well for the team. I think he does quite well in terms of like bringing everybody else into play. And I think his pace and his ability to run the channels is a very good aspect of his game. However, the fact that he's not very good in terms of like movement within the box is not a good thing. I don't think he's very good at heading the ball. So that means that much of the crosses you get from Pedro Neto and, Sancho, anybody else is wasted. So he's not really physical. He doesn't have the physicality. He's a kind of player who's very good for transition football. Unfortunately, we don't play transition football as much, but he does quite well. It's basically all you need to do to stop Jackson is basically set up a low block. Game, set, match. That's it. So Nkunku, on the other hand, Nkunku, even though he's technically far more capable than Jackson, he doesn't run. He doesn't bring anybody else into play. He's defensively quite useless. I don't know what it was that happened. Maybe it was, I think if we still had Pochettino here, maybe he would have done quite well. The whole idea behind him coming to join us was to basically play in that Cole Palmer position. But then he got injured, and of course we then bought Cole Palmer, and then Cole Palmer became what he is, and the rest is history. It's hard for him to break back into that team. We had him, and then we had like Joao Felix. None of these players could get ahead of Cole Palmer. So ultimately we had to play him up front, and even then he wasn't doing too well. I think he got frustrated, he got unhappy, he didn't like the game time he was getting. And he didn't like the tactics he was being encouraged to play, especially the positions they were asking him to play. Overall, I think it is what it is. It's not his fault. I think he's still a phenomenal player. I'm sure he's going to find a decent team going forward. But ultimately, I think he has to go. And in terms of options, striker options that we have now, obviously everybody keeps talking about Victor Osimhen. If you ask me, I think he's the perfect player for us at this point in time. However, given the price, even though he's affordable, because we could get him for like 65 million, I think. I don't know if it's euros or pounds. We can get him for a reasonable fee. The guy's salary, he's looking at something. He wants something within the realm of 300k per week, which for Chelsea is not exactly a way to go right now because we've got like a cap, we've got a salary cap, and if we start paying these players excess amounts, all of a sudden we now have to explain to, like Cole Palmer why he's not getting the same amount. We have to explain to Madueke why he's not getting paid the amount. Even Enzo Fernandez, the guy we bought for like 106 million, he's gonna have to ask. He's a World Cup winner, and what's he gonna be? What's he gonna how do you think he's gonna react when he sees this other fella come in and getting 300k a week, and he's a World Cup winner. So ultimately, I think he's gonna be a no-no. The other alternative is Hugo Ekitike, who apparently
that's the
really
guy I was going to
into.
talk about. Yeah, that's the guy I was going to touch on. Yeah, he's the one that I've been hearing about the last few months, and he looks good. He's had some good games out there in Germany. He's doing well. So yeah, be good.
Yeah, he's done pretty well. He'd be a good signing for us, I think. Although to me, he's not really he's not the kind of for me, the issue is profile. I think the kind of player we need is somebody who's in the same vein as Osimhen. We need a guy, a power forward. So you're looking at somebody like I would be okay if we got Lapin. Gyökeres is another one.
But everybody wants Gyökeres. Every team wants Gyökeres. It's not like
he's going to either
yeah.
He's going to Chelsea or United, or not United, but
Arsenal,
Chelsea or City. He's not going to Arsenal.
Whoever pays more really for him.
He's not going to Arsenal. He's not going to Arsenal.
The thing, my issue with those players though is that they don't have the height advantage that would be very useful for addressing those blocks, which for me is the reason why I thought Benjamin Sesko is the best option, because he's got the physicality, he's got the height, he's got the header, he's got the shooting accuracy and all that. He's got the technicalities. He can bring other players into the game. He's basically like Lewandowski.
His finish is awful though. I've watched him. Not been impressed.
Sesko. I don't think he's that great, honestly. I don't think he's that great for the Premier League. For the Premier League, like a top 4 side in the Premier League. I mean,
now granted,
does he pay 70 million?
Yeah, so 80 million euros they're charging for him. But
I don't think it's worth that
yeah,
really.
worth it. Yeah, 100%.
But
But in
apparently, you guys are
context,
looking into him. Oscar, apparently, you guys are looking into him.
yeah. I tell you, I likes him. You know, he fits his profile. You know, even though he's not
Mm.
clinical, even though in context you could say in counteract to that oh, he's not actually playing as the main striker. It's Opendia, I think it is. Is it Opendia? Is that his name?
What's
I
his
can't remember
name?
the guy's
Who?
name actually. I know the
Which player?
He's a player from Switzerland. I can't remember his name. I know who you're talking about.
Striker?
Striker.
Yeah, striker. He plays for. He plays a lot. He's one of the strikers for.
Is it Embolo?
No,
Embolo?
the other guy. No, not him. The, Opendia, I think is
Okafor?
No.
He's not Okafor.
It's
He
not
plays
Okafor.
for.
We're
Oh man.
talking about RB Leipzig.
Oh,
Lois
I think I know who you're
Openda.
talking about.
Louis Openda. Yes,
Louis
yeah,
Openda,
Louis
yeah.
Openda.
Oh,
Openda,
yes.
Yeah.
Openda, yeah.
Isn't he Belgium?
Yeah.
He's not from Belgium. Belgium. He's Belgium. From Belgium. Plays for Belgium. Yeah. He's
Okay.
a good player. How old is he though? You always look at the player profile. How old is the player?
25 years
Oh,
old. He's 25.
Okay, it's a good time to move. It's a good time to move.
That's hard.
To
That's
Premier
horrible
League.
stats though. 33 matches,
Mm.
9 goals. 9 goals
Oh.
in 33 matches. That's horrible. That's awful.
Leipzig are a good team. Yeah, they're a good team.
And then
Not the German
Sesko,
team.
he's got 13 goals in 33 matches. That's
13.
crazy.
It's not that much. It's pretty much the same as defender, really. For me, it's Ekatike. He would move. I can see that one. I can see him moving. I don't know which team. He will go to one of the top 7 Premier League. I think that one's a move. That one seems like that one will make sense. If he starts his age. Yeah, Ekatike. I think that guy will move. Looking at his stats, looking at his performances, and he's a young player.
Well, to me, I think with Ekitike, I see him as a much more advanced. I think basically he's like Nicholas Jackson, just further along. That's my attitude with him. I think he's just the same profile as Nicholas Jackson, and I don't see any reason why we should bring another Nicholas Jackson into the team. If I'm honest with you, I mean, unless you can justify it, fair enough. I just want a player like that is in the same vein as Osimhen, if not Osimhen himself. Somebody who I thought would have been excellent for us last year was a guy named Samu Omorodio.
Yes, we were talking about him early in the season. Yeah.
Even though I had my reservations, hindsight being 2020, I think he would have been the perfect striker for us to bring in, and it's a shame that we didn't get him in the end. I think he would have been the perfect, debutant to what's his name, to Nicholas Jackson, because he's got the height, he's got the physicality, and he would have definitely solved the problem that we have with these low blocks. I think he's definitely the kind of striker that we'd want to go for.
Yeah, it's almost like DJ Drogba, like of old, that kind of player that Chelsea needs. That the old school striker.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah. What about the Atalanta striker?
Atalanta.
Atalanta from Syria in Italy.
Retegui. Yeah. I know who you're talking about. Yeah. He's good. I mean, but I feel like, some Italian strikers, there's something with Italian strikers, when they come to the Premier League, I don't know how many have done quite well in the Premier League. It's different. It's a different kind of...
They generally don't translate very well to the Premier League, if I'm honest with you. I mean, I hear... we've obviously, you've seen a perfect example of it with your guy, what's his name? Hoyland. He used to play in Italy before. Although, to be fair, in his case, I think he's been misprofiled for Manchester United. And then again, you could also argue that Manchester United right now is basically a cemetery for football players. So I think that, generally speaking, maybe that's what it is. But generally speaking, Italian footballers don't really, players who are in Italy who are basically don't really translate quite well here. And that was one of the issues I had with, Lukaku and what's his name, Osimhen. I thought that the best time to get Osimhen was the season we actually got Lukaku, because if we got him that season when he was moving from France to Napoli, it would have been perfect. But I don't know what it is about that league. It just doesn't it doesn't translate quite well over to the Premier League, unfortunately.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Just yeah, Hoyland was bought when the old recruitment, before the Ineos came in, before the new sporting director. So it was a missed profile for sure. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know about Italian league, and the comparison to the Premier League is just completely different. It's yeah. I think the German league is more similar to the Premier League. The way players and the fit is more natural than players who played in Italy to the Premier
Isn't that a
League.
bit slow as well, though?
So no,
Isn't that
German
league a
is
bit?
faster. If anything, German is very end to end. It's very fast paced. German league is very fast paced. It's similar to Premier League. It's very kind of high energy, end to end. When the games I've seen, it looks exciting. The games, German games, and especially the fans as well. They're very passionate. So yeah, like Munich, looking at by Leverkusen, um, even now because Alonso left. He's left Leverkusen going to Madrid.
Mm. Oh,
So
yeah.
I feel like some players from their team would leave, because like you've already seen Frimpong, he's left now. He's gone to Liverpool. There'll be other players, Florian Wirtz, that might be leaving as well. There'll be certain players that the key players for Leverkusen. Because I think when a good manager leaves, some players just leave with him, and they will end up. Some will go to Madrid, some might go to Arsenal, some might go to
Well, the big one is
other
Florian
teams, other big
Wirtz, right?
teams.
The biggest
Yeah,
one being
what?
Florian Wirtz,
Yeah,
who's potentially going to Liverpool for like 100
I
mil.
don't. I don't think he'll go to Liverpool. They don't need him. They don't actually need him. They've got a good, solid team. I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe
I see.
again, I think it's because of the play style. This guy's probably trying to. I think he's just trying to evolve his team. I think there's a trend for players for teams to go for that. Like I think there seems to be a trend I've observed, or maybe I'm just saying things really, where players of his ilk are being sought after
Mm,
right now. I think you had the same thing with Marmoush when he was playing for you, who came to Manchester City in January, and I think Liverpool are there for a similar mold of player. And I think that's why we're also connected with
yeah,
Joao Pedro. So potentially,
yeah,
maybe,
Pedro, yeah.
but yeah,
Ramesh is
they're
good.
going to be bringing
He's
in
good.
Ten Hag, by the way. They're going to be bringing in Ten Hag
Oh, oh
by
yes, I heard that
Leverkusen.
yesterday.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Leverkusen,
read an
yeah.
article, in Athletic yesterday. Yeah, yeah. I think
How
it's a good
funny would
signing.
it be?
It's a
How
good
funny would it
manager.
be if
He's
he
a good
goes
manager.
there and actually does well?
He probably will, though. That's the thing. He probably will, because he's a good manager. He probably will.
Yeah,
Yeah. I think he'll win at least a trophy, maybe the FA Cup,
yeah,
their version of the FA Cup. Then the Champions
yeah,
League, so it might go on a good Champions League run. I don't know if they'll win the title, but for me, Munich are kind of levels ahead. But I think he'll do well there. It's a good move
yeah,
for him. He's managed in Germany before. He speaks German. He was at Bayern Munich, the second team before, so he speaks German. It's not really a big. I don't think it'd be a big move for him. I think he'll do well, and I wish him the
yeah,
best. I want him to do well, succeed. Uh, but it'll be interesting to see Alonso now at Madrid, what he'll do, because that's a big move. That's a big step up for him. Although he did play for Madrid, to be a manager is a different level. So,
yeah. I think he's coming at the right time. I think the team is in need of a revamp. I'm curious to see what he does with that team because there's a lot of imbalances in that team right now that I feel needs to be addressed.
yeah,
And I think Mbappe or Vinicius Junior are two players I reckon are going
mm,
to see their time on the field reduced because the way they're currently playing doesn't really afford them the ability to use players in their other positions and optimize them. I think they just play. They just have too many Galacticos and not enough spaces for them to play.
I think there's certain players in the team, like Real Madrid, that need to realize their potential. Like Camavinga, those French players that bought Camavinga, Tchouaméni, those are players who need to get the most out of those young. They're still young midfielders. These are players that could be best midfielders in the world. That's Alonso. I think he can get the best out of those kind of players. He was a midfielder himself, so you impart the knowledge
To,
and different things.
to be honest, I don't think the issue is so much the midfield as such. I think the midfield will sort itself out. I think they're going to bring in Vitinha to replace Modric, and apparently they're looking at Enzo Fernandez, which is probably not going to happen because if he wants to take Enzo Fernandez, they're going to have to pay us 150 million minimum. But if they get a decent midfield to replace Modric and maybe another crew style player, I don't know if that's maybe that's the direction Alonso might go. But yeah, I think ultimately the midfield is settled. I think Camavinga and Tchouameni are ready to step up. The issue I think for them is the forward line because it's not balanced. I think the way they play is it puts a lot of pressure on the rest of the team. They don't really do much defensive work, and you got like Mbappe and Vinicius Junior, both players who play on the same side, tend to get in each other's way, and of course that forces Bellingham to do things that he doesn't really want to be doing. Ultimately, it just causes an imbalance, which unfortunately just sets the team up for failure. So I'm curious to see what Alonso does. He's going to have to make some sacrifices.
Yeah, but do you say Vitinha will come in to replace Modric?
Potentially,
Vitinha.
I heard about Vitinha, from PSG. I heard about that.
Vitinha,
Apparently, they're looking at him, So
it's a good
very good
signing.
players
Yeah, I
for
think
sure. It would be a good signing.
I think that'd be an amazing signing.
Oh yeah,
so
definitely.
Hopefully, that's my tip. I'm supporting to my PG. That's my tip for the final. I hope they can win, get over the line, and finally get the first Champions League. I think that'd be a absolutely great signing for Madrid for sure. It's but I think into defense really. I think into defense is the main thing for Madrid. That's where they're imbalanced in their defense. That's why they got the guy from Bournemouth, Poisson, and right back as well.
Yeah, I think they're gonna. I mean, obviously they got Trent Alexander-Arnold, but he's going to be a defensive liability, so they're going to need another defender just to provide him some sort of protection. Maybe that's why Dean Howson is there. And then of course you got apparently Rudiger is having issues at the club, so he could potentially be leaving. So I think they're going to spend some money in that department too.
Okay, I think he's been quite good though. He's been almost captain at the back. Plus, that Brazilian guy's been out injured as well from the whole season. So,
Danilo, I think, yeah.
Sir?
Is it Danilo you're referring to?
No, Militao.
Oh, Militao, yeah.
Yeah, he's been out injured, and then so they have the left back. Alaba as well was injured. He came back. Mendy's still there. So yeah, they have. I think a few players. Overall, they got a better team than I think Barcelona. I think they got a better team than Barcelona, but Barca are kind of more like a team. The dynamic of Barcelona's team works better. Hence why I think they won.
I think Real Madrid has a better team overall. They got a better players, but they don't have balance. That's a key thing.
Yeah,
that's what I was trying to get at.
Yeah.
I think with Barcelona, they have a much more balanced team. I think everybody plays in a position that is relevant to them. It makes tactical sense, and everything is all set up precisely well. With Real Madrid this season, especially, I've just seen them having to compromise a lot of players, especially Jude Bellingham, in order to accommodate Mbappe and Vinicius Junior.
Definitely.
So it's just made things awkward for them, to say the least.
They need to stick to one formation. I think 4-2-3-1. Bellingham in the number 10. Don't be playing him out on the left wing when Vinicius is playing there. Or Vinicius can play right and Mbappe left, or vice versa.
Well, Vinicius doesn't play on the right, actually, and I think he's basically made that left-hand side on his own. I don't think anybody can debate with him. Even he's better than Mbappe on that left-hand side. Mbappe ideally would want to be playing on that left-hand side, but unfortunately it's already occupied. So what they really need is somebody who can stay in the middle. I think, I got to be honest, you got to give that number 9 shirt to somebody else other than Mbappe because he's not your traditional number 9. They need to either decide whether to play Vinicius Junior on that left-hand side or play Mbappe on that left-hand side and basically put Endrick in the middle. They probably need to get themselves another striker. I'm going to be certain that's one of the issues that Alonso is going to face next season.
Yeah. Who knows? They might even go and get Osimhen, because they can actually pay the wages. They might go and get. They might
just do that.
It wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me. Madrid.
Rex, you want to say something?
Yeah. By the way,
Rex, you want to say something?
Yeah. Apparently, Osimhen is going to Saudi Arabia, Al Hilal.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's been a great apparently.
Big move. Yeah. Okay, that's good.
Because they're the only ones who can afford his salary, so they can pay him his salary and then some. So I mean,
Definitely.
I think
Yeah.
I think the strange thing for me now is just on top of his salary, it seems like there's nobody else who's actually willing to take him on the entirety of Europe. So ultimately, I think he got screwed over when he was at Napoli when they decided to pay him the extra wages in order to keep him in and as well as inflate his price tag. I think that was a stupid move for them to make on him, and I think it was a bad idea for him. Bad idea for him to accept it. Although to be fair, I can understand why he accepted it. I mean, who's going to turn down a buttload of money when they put it in front of you? So, but now it means that he's going to have to play the rest of his, footballing years in somewhere else where it's not really well known for football.
Yeah, the profile is rising, but compared to, I also feel like the players that go there, it's like, do you not want to win? Come on, you don't want to win the Champions League, or that's at the pinnacle. It's
I mean,
like, you
yeah,
need to find that the potential possibility to win the Champions League, and just
there's
feel like they could have.
prestige in Europe.
Yeah, prestige for sure.
Yeah,
But then there's but then there's financial security at the same time. There's this financial security, but that's why you see Durango over there. Who else? Ivan Toney, Firmino.
Oh,
Who
Firmino,
else?
of course. I forgot about him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Henderson went there as well for a year.
The next league coming up, I'm telling you. They're the next league coming
Yeah,
up.
there's few other players. Mane went over there. Mane's out there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mahrez out there as well. Benzema, Kante, there's players. No players went over there.
By the way, VAR today in the United game.
Honestly, I can't speak in it. I just saw on the news, turn on the news, and I saw they just showed the highlight of that bit, and I can kind of see where they're coming from.
That's a bad call. Bad call.
He didn't the way I understand it, he didn't have two hands on the ball. Yeah, so that it wasn't. He didn't have two hands on the ball, so it wasn't like. I think the striker was on the right. He was in the right, wasn't he? The striker was in the right to go for the ball. So I think it was the right thing. Yeah, that's the way I understand it. So yeah, but I'll catch the highlights on Match of the Day. Yeah, it's been funny. I'm just glad it ended on a win. I'm gutted for Forest though that they didn't hold out to champion. They get Europa League though, which is good. Villa as well, Europa League. Newcastle, big on Newcastle. Don't forget the Champions League. I think they've done really well to be there. And
Spurs as
2
well.
years in a row as well. 2 years in a row, Newcastle.
Spurs at Champions League as well. Spurs.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Let's not talk on that one. Yeah.
They can also win. They have a chance to win Super Cup as well. The Super Cup against
Inter
and Barcelona.
I know. That's what I mean. It's been a funny old season.
I will say on Tottenham. I will say on Tottenham, right? Okay. As much as I hate the fact that they won against Manchester United the other day, as much as I absolutely hate it, right? Because I can't tell them to their faces that they're awful anyway. I can't say that they're pointless anymore, unfortunately. However, I will say this: I'm extremely happy for Heung-min Son to have stayed at Tottenham for years and years and years when everybody left, and for him to now then become the captain, and then for him to win his first trophy. Honestly, I am so happy for that guy. Like, if there's one person in Tottenham that I'm happy for winning that trophy, it's Heung-min Son. I think I will take the pain just for him. He deserves it.
I can't.
That's understandable, Rex. That's understandable.
I just can't.
But I know Arsenal. Yeah, obviously you have your vendetta, but fair enough, I get that. But ultimately, I think he deserves it. I think you couldn't be the nicer guy. He's the one player from Tottenham that I would take in Chelsea.
Yeah, he deserves the trophy. He deserves the trophy. He deserves that. He deserves his moment, and good for them. Good for them. Champions League. Good for them. Yeah, no, really, really good for them. Really, really good.
Yo, good for Son. Good for Son. Son. Yeah, he's the person. I can't believe you guys bottled it. I gotta say, Manchester United. Son, Like, I was hoping that you guys would do something, and yet somehow,
it was awful. The
game
was awful.
It was a frustrating game. It was very awful. Dry game.
Terrible.
It was dry. It was a dry game. Dry final. Dry. One of the driest finals I think I've watched. There was.
We haven't actually talked about Manchester United that much, to be honest. I feel like we should spend some time talking about you guys.
We're there now. Let's chat about United. Let's talk
So-
about that.
Let me ask you, having gone through the season that you've been through, what are your feelings? What are your thoughts? Talk to us, man. Let's pretend it's a therapy session.
Oh wow, this is crazy.
Rex has already assumed a position. He's looking like a therapist right now. So tell me, how do you feel about it?
My head in my hands. It's the season in a nutshell. It's been pandemonium. It's been pandemonium. That's to put down to one word. But I feel like when the season began, because he was Ten Hag, and it's kind of been. We didn't expect it to be kind of plain sailing season, but yeah, I wasn't expecting this bad. So,
like the
in a
last
way,
half of
I'm
the season, you guys maintained a pretty long stretch of losing, like consistently. You're doing great in Europe, but for some reason, you guys maintained a long stretch of losing in the league.
Yeah,
Phenomenal.
they were, but I feel like the difference was that game. It was not like a European game. That was a Premier League game because it's almost played like a Premier League game. I mean, it's Tottenham. It's not like I feel like if they played the European side, they probably United would have won the game. But
Probably,
because
yeah.
it was a Premier League side, that's how it is. And for me, I'm kind of I wanted to win the trophy, but people are saying that a lot of United fans that they wanted just Champions League. It's not the Europa League because United won Europa League before. They won it before, so
Yeah.
it was to be in the Champions League. That was the main thing. That was the main focus. Not West Tottenham for them. It's a big thing. The Europa League. It's a big thing, and so I see it as okay. I wanted to win the trophy. Yeah, good.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't win the trophy, but I feel like it's a positive because that means Amorim, he has more time with the players. They haven't got that Thursday or whatever Wednesday night. You haven't got to play 3 games a week, so you got that extra time to. He's sticking with his system, which I'm happy that he's not changing.
Yeah.
So it gives a week training. You got a week, so it gives him time to really get the system. Because some players don't get it, and also to get in the players that understand the system. I think it's going to be a positive for the next season for the team. So yeah,
I've heard that everybody in the team is up for sale now.
Yeah.
20 was it 20? How many players? I saw that.
It's crazy. Apparently, that.
I don't know. They're just.
Apparently, you don't having a barbecue as well. A barbecue.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Is that true?
It's true. No, it's true. It's true. But there'll be no barbecue now. There's no barbecues off. Barbecue's off now. That's if they win the Europa League. The Europa League, they didn't win that, so it's off. No barbecue. It's not barbecue. It's just holidays now.
So, in your opinion, which players would you be happy to see the back of at this point in time? Like, if they sold them today, you'd be okay with. And who would you like to keep?
We can go. Let's do like a keep and sell. Let me just get United list up. Let's get the players up. I did see a video about this on YouTube. It was from Soccer Saturday. They were doing Sky Soccer Saturday. They were doing they had a whole list of players, and let me get the players up. It's a tough one because someone kind of 50-50 on, but certain players, I think they've been there for too long.
Sorry, Ozzy. Sorry to interject, but the players that you want to keep, could it not be a scenario where they don't want to stay because they don't want to be competing in mid-table, most likely. They want to be competing in Europe. So you may want them to stay, but would they want to stay?
Let me just go through the players. I mean, let's see.
Oh.
So we've got from the goalkeepers. So honestly speaking, so the goalkeepers. Let me just. I wrote down a few things about because I know that one signing's pretty much agreed, which was Cunha. He's almost confirmed. Pretty agreed contract. So that's one.
You messed up.
You think he should have gone to you guys? Should have gone to the Gunners. Should have gone to Arsenal.
No, I wouldn't say that, but he messed up going to United. He messed up. Don't know what he's thinking.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. I mean,
you can't go to a club just due to prestige. It's bad. It's bad motivation. Well, it's not
Yeah,
bad
so-
motivation, but it can't be the only thing. Sorry, continue.
What I'm going to do is
Yeah,
actually, just to make this quicker, what I'm going to do just to make this quick is that I'm going to name some players from Manchester United.
Just name the players.
Name the players. Just name the players, and you tell me keep or sell. If you want to elaborate on why you think we should keep or sell, that'd be great. Okay. So I'm going to start with Bruno Fernandes. Keep or sell?
Keep. Most definitely keep. He's that's still what he's a talisman. He's a main player. Definitely keep.
Okay.
He's a lead. Yeah. Keep.
Okay. Amad Diallo.
Keep. Would definitely keep. That's for me the most keep. I think he's a treasure. I think. I love his mindset and how he's came from. He's turned his career around because he went on loan to Milan before, and he's just really he's improved. And I think people think he wouldn't succeed at United, so I'm glad that he's really succeeded. Yeah, definitely keep.
Okay. Yeah. And Alejandro Garnacho.
See, this one's a bit of a sticky one for me.
It's a tough one. It's a bit of a sticky one.
Sticky.
Still,
he's young. He's 21. He's 21, right?
That's tough.
No, he's 21, right?
He's rubbish. He's rubbish.
No. How old is a player? But I'm more in Camp Cell. I'm more into Camp Cell. But
okay,
sell him.
Yeah, the caveat for me is, you know, when Mr. Winter, you were saying players leave United, right? And then they do so well. I feel like he's one of the players that he'll leave United and he'll just perform elsewhere. I don't know why. I could just see him. He'll just do well somewhere else. I don't know.
I mean, that could very well be the case. Yeah, I reckon it is the case, actually. Rex, let me just ask you a quick question, though. Would you take Alejandro to be on that left wing? Okay, fair enough. I just wanted to check real quickly. Andre Onana. What do we want to do?
I'm 50-50 on that one. I would keep, but I'll get in another goalkeeper to be the main goal, to be the number one, and he would be a squad player. Yeah. Okay. I would get a first goalkeeper. Yeah.
Okay, Patrick Dorgu.
Keep, definitely. He's young. He's only had 6 months. He came in January, less than 6 months. He came in January. I can see the potential. He's a very athletic player, up and down that wing. He's a wing back as well. I think he'll grow into the role. Yeah.
Okay, Rasmus Højlund.
Ooh. The thing is, I would say so, but the thing is, you spent 70 million, wasn't it? Nearly 70 million on him, which is a lot of money for a striker in general. I'll get a number 9, a first choice number 9. For me, first choice would be good. I got for Gyökeres. What's meant to be too much for the wages? Gyökeres or someone of that ilk. And then,
but would you keep or sell? That's if you made a loss on him, would you keep or sell?
To be fair, I would actually loan. I would loan. Is that an option? Is loaning an option? I would loan.
Like I said, they've put everybody up for sale, so I'm assuming that these guys are going to be kicked out once and for all. There's not going to be any loan. There's not going to be any of that. So it's just going to keep or sell.
I'll sell and get first choice striker because he's been there for 2 seasons now. Yeah, get a first choice striker. I'll sell.
Nah, this one is interesting for me because he used to be a former Blue. Mason Mount. Mason Money Mount.
Mason Money now. Oh, it's interesting because I feel like he has the potential. He had the potential to be really good. One of the best midfielders in England as well at the time.
Yeah.
I think he's been injured for too long. He's been injured for I don't know if he's injury prone now. I'll keep. I'll give him one more season. This season depends on how the injuries get and his performance levels. I think I'll keep forward, but last season's kind of I'll definitely keep for one more season. Yeah.
I'd say that's reasonable. Keep him one more season, see how he does, because I think he's a very good player. He can do well.
And he's still young. He's still 25. He's still quite a young player. So 25-6. So it's not.
Rex, would you buy Mason Mount off of Manchester United?
No. Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. Okay, fair enough.
I don't think he fits Arsenal. I don't think he fits the team though. I don't really think he fits Arsenal team.
To be fair, I mean, I think he's one of those players who has he can fit into any system because he's very intelligent and he has the ability to adapt to the technical requirements of the coach. If you see, there's a trend of every single coach that has worked with him liking him. You know, there's Frank Lampard, there's Tuchel, there was, what's his name? The guy who left you guys, I can't remember his name now. The bald-headed fellow. And Amorim also likes him as well. Ten Hag,
Ten
yes, Ten
Hag,
Hag, we
yeah.
liked him, and
Eric
even
Ten Hag, yeah.
and Amorim likes him
I
very much.
remember
So
him, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
so
Loves
yeah,
the way he plays.
yeah. So I think there's a trend. I think he definitely makes an impression. So I reckon that he'd do very well for any team he
Mm.
goes for. What about Kobe Mainoo? Keep us up.
Keep 100%. Well, I'm not 100% keep, but definitely to the keep. For one, he's a homegrown player. He understands how United plays, a United style. I don't know where he fits in the system. I don't know, but I think you have to find a way to play him. If you play in the 3-4-3 or 3-4-2-1, even as one of the number 10s, I think he hasn't found his best position yet because he's still quite a young player. And I
Okay.
think he'll naturally go into a box-to-box midfielder. Yeah, I think keep. Yeah.
Okay. Lenny regretted his decisions to join Man United Euro. Keep us out.
I thought you put the middle there. No. For me, it's 100% keep. 100%. He's 19. He just came. I think he's grown into the role as a defender in the Premier League at a big side. So I think, yeah, I can see the potential. Definitely keep.
You know, it was actually this guy, Rio Ferdinand, that convinced him to come to Manchester United. He's probably thinking to himself, I should have not listened to that motherfucker.
Yeah. Why did he convince me?
Why?
But he
Why?
does remind me of a young Rio, though. He does remind me of a young Rio Ferdinand. Like when Rio was coming to United, he does remind me
Yeah,
of that
but
kind of player. That, you know that.
but he did have the door
Um,
wide open to him to go to Arsenal. Not Arsenal, to Real Madrid. He did have the
yeah,
option
but
to go to Real Madrid.
So did Saliba. It's a bit like Saliba as well. Saliba going to Arsenal. He could go to Madrid, but I think they chose the Premier League for a reason. Sometimes it's not always the money of Madrid. They want to actually just have the Premier League. I mean, sometimes the Premier League, they want that competitiveness, how the Premier League is. You can't win every game. Yeah.
But the thing is, it comes
And I
down to the
respect that.
team that you join. I think in this case, it comes down to the team that you join. I think if you join a decent team in the Premier League, then you can reasonably say, yes, this was a good decision. But Manchester United right now is not a team to participate in right now. They got some issues. All right, next up, Joshua Xerxes.
Keep. I'm more to the keep. I'll give reasons why. I can see why people would say sell. I can understand that, but I'm about 60-40, 60 to the keep. Team keep, because one, I think as a number 10, he was performing. He was really towards the end of the season, he was really having the performances. He was obviously he's cooking, but he was he was making some good performances. I think he's not a number 9, he's definitely a 10. He's definitely a 10. And I think his ball control, the way I think he's a unique player. What he does for United, I can see it. His technical abilities that other players don't provide. He offers something different. So I would keep. He's still quite young as well.
Okay, that's fair enough. Casemiro.
Ooh, I mean, I love Casemiro. I would actually love to keep him, but I think he's because of his age. I think because you're thinking of this transitioning. For me, he's got to go because of the age. The age thing, it's a bit. Yeah, he's got the experience, but I think he's gone down since when he left Madrid. His level has really dropped. I think he can take the wages as well. That's one wage you can get off and use for the younger players or to buy another player. So I think you should go. I would sell Casemiro. Yeah.
All right, let's speed up these last ones. Actually, we're gonna do a speed run. Okay. Yeah. The next couple of hours. Yeah. Okay, Harry Maguire, keep us up.
Keep. He signed a new contract recently. I think he's got some big performances. He's got the experience at the back. I still think he can guide like Lenny Yoro, the younger defenders, Heaven, Yoro, those kind of players. I think he's got one more season at least at United. Yeah, I think that'll be probably his last season. Yeah, keep.
Okay. What about Banu Lugarte? Keep us up.
Keep. He's only coming this his first season. I think there's potential. He seems slow at the beginning, but I think he's picking up the Premier League, and I think he'll do well. I don't know if the only thing with that, I feel like I'll get in another defensive midfielder because he's the only one that's kind of defensive minded. I'll probably get another one. I think they might be getting Edison from Atalanta, or there's a few other players around that I've heard. So I'll probably I'll keep him. Sure.
Okay, Matis Delict.
Keep. Oh, definitely keep. I think. Hopefully he's not got the injury prone bug, but I'll keep. Yeah, keep.
Luke Shaw.
Oh, it's another injury-prone player. Oh, it's a tough one. It's 50-50 for me because he's so good when he's not injured, but then he's whenever he's fit. I would actually, ooh, I would actually sell. Yeah, I'll sell. I'll sell Luke Shaw. I think he could. He's just too injury prone. That's really what it is. He's just too injury prone.
Okay.
Great player, great one of the best left backs, but yeah.
Okay, Diogo Dalot.
Keep definitely. He's the most versatile player, one of the most versatile players in the team. He can play right wing back, left wing back, even the back three, wing. I think he can even play attacking midfield. I think he offers balance to the team, and he's still quite young. So yeah, keep.
Mazraoui.
That's the most versatile player. He can play. I think he's played every position, bar striker and goalkeeper. Keep,
Okay.
most definitely keep. He's a player you need in your team. Yeah.
Lisandro Martinez.
Keep. He's actually my favorite player. United. Yeah, I'll keep. 100% keep. But for me, they need to check out whether he's injury prone or he gets that. He's got that same thing that Luke Shaw has. Hopefully he's not injury prone, but I'll keep. Yeah, future captain.
Okay. Christian Eriksen.
Oh, so it's like Sims Casemiro. He's level dropped. He's almost too old for the team. He's come to the end of his contract. I think he'll go.
Yeah. Okay. Victor Lindelof.
So he's been in United. He's one of the most longest serving players. He's been there for 7 years. He hasn't really progressed his level over the years, like other players. I think So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Finally, we come to the creme de la creme. Johnny Evans.
Wow. Johnny, there's a few younger players that could go, isn't there? I think
There are
Johnny
some younger
Evans
players
for me.
here, but we can leave them for now. Yeah, we can leave them. We can put them aside. We'll just put all of them in the loan category. But yeah, Johnny
They've got to
Evans.
embed them into the team. But yeah, Johnny Evans, I think, not sell, retire United, homegrown. This is the team he grew up supporting, playing. Retire, give him a coaching job, maybe in the academy, and work his way up from there into coaching. I think, he's a legend, club legend in his own right. So,
Okay.
yeah,
So
retire.
let's finish the Manchester segment on this one question. Actually, unless you guys have other questions you want to ask, but let's just finish on this before we move to Arsenal. If you had the reins of Manchester United right now, obviously given everything that's happened this season and everything that's turned out to be the case, and everything that's given the S show that you experienced, how would you, if you were given the reins, turn things around for next season? What would be your aim for next season? And how would you turn it around?
Okay. Right. So I'm going to say 3 goals. Like there's 3 goals for next season, or kind of aims, objectives. One would be the playing style. One playing style to. So I'm glad. The positive of not being in the Europe is that you have extra day of rest that the other teams in the league don't have, for the top 7, 8 teams. So I'll use the extra days on the training field, to get the players with the system. That repetition with the system, really, they have to be really, so they get the system kind of in them, in the way, second nature. That's what I think Amarim wants. So one is the playing style to get it into the players. It's more kind of fluid the way they play. It's not disjointed, so it's fluid and they're really in sync with each other, the guys that play. Second one is aims, objectives. I think is the players. I would say bring in, similar to the first one, but bring in players that fit the system, but also players that are needed in the team, and then get out players that have. It's almost like past their sell by day at United. That they've been there for too long, or they're just too old, and they just don't suit the Premier League in general. So those players, so it's that imbalance. So it's bring players in and bring players out, but there should definitely be more players out than in. And I would even, for me, 4 or 5 in players, and then about 10 to 15 players out. Bear in mind, there's someone loan. Something like that. And then the third one would be, I would say, win a trophy, because fans always love a trophy. We always love a trophy at the end of the day. I mean, we support our team to win a trophy. I'm I see Abraham as ambitious, but he's realistic. He knows that the team not going to win the Premier League next season. For a few seasons, I feel, and Champions League is also it's not Champions League. So I think if you can win a domestic cup on top of the playing style being in sync and getting players in and getting the ones that he doesn't want out, and on top will be, let's say, win an FA Cup. I think that's fourth one would be actually win it. Yeah, try and win a trophy, but the fourth one would be in the league, improve that league position, get to the top seven or eight teams for me, because the way I look at it, the United team it's not worse than Brentford's. It's not worse than quite a few teams that are ahead of United. It's just the system. So for me, if they put those things in place, the way they I think top seven, top 8 is well possible next season. It just have to be it has to be Amram's team, and in sync with the players. So I think improve the league position, get into the top 7 for sure. Yeah. And then win an FA Cup. I think if you win the FA Cup, you get Europa League, you get Europe. So I feel it's the natural progression. It's still transition, so I think they can't put too much expectations on the team. Yeah, so those are the main goals. Top 7, go to break into that top 7. I'm just being realistic. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So,
well, that brings us to the end of our Manchester United segment for today. I think we've had a belly full of the highs and lows of Manchester United. Now we're going to turn our attention to Arsenal, and the person who's going to represent that conversation today is Rex, who, for all intents and purposes, has quite a slanderous set of opinions towards Arteta, as is typically predicted. But to kick us off, first of all, let's ask you, how do you think this season has gone?
Awful.
You should get that at a t-shirt, man.
Rubbish.
How's your season?
oh man.
Rubbish. Yeah.
I don't.
The season just it went.
Sugar honey iced tea. I say that.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh my.
I won't say the word, but sugar honey iced tea. Leave it like that. Sugar honey iced tea.
Fair enough. That's a very clever way to put it. Okay, so if you had to, obviously we're weighing quite heavily on the negative side here. If you were to put some positive spin to it, obviously coming second this season is not entirely a bad outcome to have. Granted, you guys didn't win any cups. Obviously that game against Paris Saint-Germain was something you guys should have actually, moved, used as a way towards winning your first trophy, European, to say the least. And now we find ourselves in a position where you guys haven't won a European tournament before Tottenham. How do you square this?
Tottenham. This is actually the third European trophy. Tottenham Spurs. They won 2 Europa League before.
That makes it worse, man. Yeah. They've won trophies. They've won European trophies before you guys.
In Europe, yeah.
How do you cope with this, man? Talk to me.
I don't know.
Oh my.
You ever see that guy? You ever see those clips on TikTok where the guy's just staring out into the ocean and you can hear the Star Wars soundtrack?
Oh yeah.
I feel like that was Rex. I feel like that was Rex the night that they lost to that night that Tottenham won the European League, the Champions League.
Staring into the abyss of the ocean.
I feel like Squidward.
Oh my god, man! That's just
Newcastle beat us. They won. Liverpool won. Crystal Palace won. Spurs won. It's like,
it's funny. One thing I saw was all the birds. The teams have all got birds in their logo. They all won. They all won the trophy.
The chickens won. The roosters won. They won before the Gunners. The Gooners.
The Eagles,
man.
The Eagles.
Honestly, man, I was watching Expressions cooking kilograms and what's his name? What's his name? I was KG. This guy. I was watching that video. Expressions was cooking. Honestly,
everyone
if
like
there's one other
He
good
was.
thing after this is just seeing expressions become like prideful. Seeing him now is just incredible. So
Yeah,
what would you put down the outcome of Arsenal season? Why do you think you guys ended up second place without any trophies? What was it that happened? Give us
the
the
manager,
details.
the manager, the lack of preparation for injuries,
Okay.
lack of investment. Once again, misprofiling players. That's pretty much it. Pretty
So
much it.
okay, that's fair enough. Obviously, if you were to ask me, I think the main thing you guys actually lacked this season was a decent striker up front. I think you guys should have probably spent some money to get a decent striker to kind of like cover your forward line. And if you had that at the very least, you could have like an outlet for scoring a ton of goals. Unfortunately, you guys didn't have that, which meant that
The
you guys
thing
couldn't
is,
finish up games.
the thing is, Mikel Arteta doesn't like it. He doesn't want a striker. He just doesn't want that because it doesn't fit his profile. It doesn't fit his system. Because he refused to adjust, change it to compensate for the striker.
I
That's
gotta
why
ask, what is
Aubameyang got.
this system? What is his system exactly? What is it? What is it about his system that doesn't require a striker? Because I keep hearing that, but I don't fully understand.
So, if you notice the way Arsenal play, which I died to watch, honestly, um, it's basically like very controlling, like suffocate teams, where it's very slow build up. So usually you would assume that if there's space open up behind you, you think that the midfielders will quickly play into him. But that's not how Arteta plays. He doesn't like playing too direct. He plays like in a semicircle, like going to pass it around slowly, pass it around. And the thing is, it's going to frustrate strikers that are very, especially strikers that play on transition, Isaac and Gyökeres. So that's why I don't feel Gyökeres, because Arteta doesn't, he doesn't really like to play the straightforward way. He's more controlling. We're going to control the ball, control position, and eventually tire them out if we can, no matter how long it takes. That's why Odegaard, as much as I don't rate him as a player, Odegaard often holds on the ball for too long. He doesn't shoot straight away. He doesn't pass straight away either. He doesn't play the free ball. Doesn't shoot at all on time when he needs to. So yeah, does that make sense?
Well, basically, you seem to find the okay. So the possession approach is basically one that sort of like restricts opportunities for like a center forward. So because
Yeah.
of that, you don't think there is that much. The system doesn't have that much utility for a striker because it's just not. There's no need for a focal point. It sounds like.
The thing is, there could be if Mikel makes some slight changes to kind of be more inclusive, of the striker, but he won't do it. He's too stubborn.
Okay.
That's why.
Okay, do you feel to going on that one? Do you feel that Andrea Berto, having the new the sporting director will help with the recruiting a new striker or so forth? The players Arsenal need for the team.
Personally speaking, I do hope that he gets more power than Mikel. I do hope that he gets more power than Mikel, and that whatever players he buys, he has the final say on, not Mikel. Because as sporting director, you're buying players for the club, not for the manager, because the manager can go at any moment. So
for sure. Because he has the expertise in the recruiting. It's not Arteta. It's Andrea Berto.
Selling as well. In selling as well. Selling as well. He's got very good experience in making good sales. So yeah.
A few. Well, I mean, which position do you see Arsenal? Do you see as you guys need for next season? What are the key positions that you need strengthening in? Which players are you looking at?
Backup winger for Saka.
Yeah.
Even though I think Ranieri can play there, but he doesn't like Ranieri.
He can. I think he's better than number 10. I think he's better than number 10. Yeah.
Well, he might leave as well. Actually, come to think of it, he might leave due to the way that Miguel's treating him. But
Yeah.
It's like Rex, man, lost his connection.
Is it him or me? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I
Oh, I
think
thought
it's
it was
him.
me.
Yeah. Oh, he's back now.
Okay.
Yeah, he's back now. Okay. So
Left back as well. Yeah.
Another
Yeah.
left back. Of course, another left back.
Yeah.
Possibly a centre back.
Backup goalkeeper as well. Backup goalkeeper.
Yeah, that as well. Yeah.
Someone to almost as good as
Push right.
Raya. Someone a top goalkeeper for sure.
Striker.
Number 9, yeah.
Yeah, and also I want a number 10 as well, because I want.
Yeah.
I want Odegaard, personally speaking, I want Odegaard to be relegated to the bench. Personally, or sold even. So
I wouldn't sell him because he's such a good quality. He's still got the quality, and he's still quite young. I'll just get a number 10 to really push him, so that if he has poor performances, he knows that there's another. Just need competition. You need strength and depth really in those positions. So I'll get a good attacking midfielder. Honestly, for me, Eberechi Eze, go get your man from Crystal Palace. Honestly, I feel like he deserves a step up. He deserves a move to top 4 sides. I think that would be a good signing for Arsenal. That would be a top signing. So, but we'll see. We'll see. I think that would be a good one for those positions, 10 or because I know you can play 10, but you can play kind of off the left as well. Either way, that'd be a good signing. Yeah, I think the centre back as well. Also, do need backup centre back.
Yeah, that as well.
Yeah, backup centre back's another one.
We need at least really truly. We need at least five, 6 players really.
Yeah, sit around 5 or 6. I'm also not far off a title. Really not far off at all.
But Chelsea
it's fine margins.
Newcastle, but Chelsea, but Liverpool are going to improve.
Liverpool, yeah, they are strengthening. City definitely will.
Chelsea as well. Chelsea, Newcastle.
Chelsea. Well, let's not talk about United right now. But we are strengthening. We will improve, but we're not in the title race. So
United,
we're not in the title race. Let's really say that. We're not in the title race.
Yeah, you guys got like another 2 years to get back into the title race. You guys got like 2 or 3 years. You need to do a rebuild. You need to do exactly what Chelsea has done.
Yeah, Newcastle.
Honestly, yeah.
Newcastle.
Possibly. It depends how they do it. It depends how Newcastle do. It depends who they buy again. I know they have the money. They have Saudi Arabian money, so they could do it. But it depends how they strengthen the team. They have a good team. So yeah, those are the 5. You think so?
Yeah, I think so. At least 5, 6 players that we need to sign, and then we need to make at least 10 sales.
Yeah,
10 sales.
Yeah. So those are the 5: Newcastle, City, Arsenal, Chelsea, Arsenal, Liverpool. I think for next season, those are the 5. Again, those are the 5 strongest. Yeah, just looking at SSC, centre back for sure. What about Tomiyasu? He hasn't played all season. What's happened to Tomiyasu?
Honestly,
I like Tomiyasu.
I think he's good. Yeah, I thought
he needs to go. He needs to leave.
There's not enough Japanese players in the Premier League. There's not enough Japanese players in the Premier League. It's good to see that representation.
He's not back until next year.
Oh, is it? Oh, really?
Yeah. It's that bad.
I'll send him on loan for the year, and if he does well, we'll integrate him into the team. Because Ben White was injured as well. He was out for most of the season. So I think defenders just really a centre back and a left back. Definitely a left back and centre back. Apart from that, I think Arsenal are at the back. It's more kind of attacking midfield and up front. That's the final third. It's the final third. I think Arsenal. That's where Arsenal really defensively. Arsenal are the best team, if not, Arsenal are pretty much the best team defensively. So
true.
It's just going forward. It's attacking. The final third. attacking midfield strikers. Other teams are more ruthless, you know, when they're in those positions. The other teams are just Liverpool, even Chelsea at times, City, they'll just score. So yeah, it's fine
I feel
margins. I
like
think Berto will help though.
he's over.
Berto will help in that regard.
I feel like he's overcorrecting he's overcorrecting. He's going too extreme in being cautious and being conservative, as opposed to last season and the season before, where we were a lot more attacking. So, you know, and also this also another thing as well. This set piece coach thing, this set piece thing as well, where we take 2 minutes to take a set piece. It's irritating as well. 2 minutes to take a set piece.
Their pieces, yeah.
Annoying.
Is Arsenal becoming, when Arsenal originally a pass the ball club? How have they gone from a pass the ball club to long ball? Well, not long ball, but free kicks and corners. I don't know how the mentality's changed. I don't know over the years.
Ridiculous.
I don't know. For me, it's even more surprising because Arteta was with Guardiola. I thought he would play a different style. So it's even more surprising that he's doing this set piece thing and not, you know, pass the ball. So I don't.
Shameful,
It's not the Spanish
shameful.
way. It's not the Spanish way. So I don't get it.
Bro,
So,
there's a reason why. There's a reason why. There's a reason why. Arteta is not highly viewed in Spain. There's a reason for that. The guy's a clown. He's a code man.
yeah, I think he's got the English style. I don't think he's got the Spanish style of playing. It's more kind of defensive.
He's no Pep.
It's not.
He's no Pep. He's no Mourinho.
Yeah, it's not Guardiola for sure. It's definitely not Guardiola.
That's all I got to say.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, I think you have to move on to the next season. You've got the preseason ahead of you. As you said, strengthening the key areas. Certain players out. The players need to leave. I think embed more the youth players, definitely give them opportunities, but I think balance the team. I heard Zubamendi's coming in though. That's one player that's almost confirmed 60 million. I don't know what position he's going to play, but is he a defensive midfielder? What's his best position?
I think he's a 6.
So he's Rice, basically where Declan Rice is playing right now.
The thing is,
kind
Rice
of a box-to-box midfield.
The thing is, Rice can play as an 8. He can actually play. He may not be the best 8, but he can play well as an 8.
He's versatile,
well. Yeah, 6 as well. It's just like compared to Partey, he doesn't have.
6 is Partey's position, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, but Partey's going to be leaving soon, so.
Why? I think he's not. I think he's so underrated. I think when he plays, Arsenal play better. They need that player, breaks up the play and gives the ball to every team needs that player that gives the ball to the more skilled players. I think he's so underrated what he does that Arsenal. I don't see why he would leave. I don't get that one for me. But do you think Zubamendi's going to replace Partey? Direct replacement?
Yeah, I think so. For a long time,
okay.
Yeah.
But for me, he looks too. What's the word I'm going to use? Laporte is kind of at least physical. Zubamendi seems to. It doesn't seem like he'll be able to cope with the physical demands of the Premier League. The Premier League each game is tough. He seems small. It's like a small Spanish midfielder. I don't see how he can play in that defensive midfield role. It depends. I don't know. I don't know. I think Partey is more effective in that role. I guess we'll see how they integrate him in the team, but it doesn't strike me as that kind of. It's more if your team keeps the ball, and you have Zubamendi, it's easy if you have the ball, but if you don't have the ball, I don't know. Whereas it'd be interesting to see how he plays. Really, how he plays in the team. I can't really envisage it really. I think for me, Partey, I would have kept Partey, and yeah. And then you have Marino. We're playing number 9. Marino's a number 9. So yeah, we'll see what he does with the team, especially in the key areas. pre-season ahead, especially with the pre-season, that would definitely help. Yeah, United. I'm just positive about Cunha. Touch on Cunha. I think he's a player that's got an X factor. You always need that kind of player who does kind of, because most of the players are almost like robots. Train, track back. He's a player that kind of is able to kind of take the ball and excite the fans, and he can do things that other players don't do. I think he'll fit Amorim's system. I'm glad because many teams, wanted him. I'm glad that despite United's struggles, he chose United, and I think he'll be a good fit. So next season, I feel, will be gradual progression. So
Our attack's horrible as well.
I think he played. Yeah.
But the main issue is our attack. It's horrible. It's horrible. I said,
Yeah.
If Saka's not there, it's completely horrible.
Yeah, it's a struggle. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's true.
So,
okay, so maybe we should do. I don't. We haven't got time for keep and sell, but Martinelli or Trossard, if you had a choice between the two, who would you sell and which one would you keep? Because I heard some things about Trossard might maybe leaving.
Yeah, he might be staying. Personally speaking, I would prefer to sell Trossard and keep Martinelli, because I think Martinelli, originally he came in as a striker, playing under Emery.
Oh, he did. Oh, yes, yeah.
So, but once again, Arteta is very stubborn, and he wouldn't play.
Also, Trossard is, yeah.
So So ideally, I would sell Trossard and keep Martinelli, only because I think he has that running ability, but by the defense.
Yeah, the way he did against Madrid.
Yeah, exactly. But I think we're going to sell Martinelli and keep Trossard.
I think Trossard probably. He's 30 years old. He's not a young player anymore. 30.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
For me, he's.
We're linked to Rodrigo. We're linked to him, but then, yet again, the issue is his salary demands, the wage demands. That's the issue.
Oh yeah,
even though we paid 280k to Havertz, so
Yeah, but Rodrigo doesn't he? Yeah, interesting. Doesn't Rodrigo play in Saka's position though? I don't think he will display Saka. He won't overtake Saka's position in the team though.
He can play on the left.
Is he right-footed or both-footed or left-footed? So I thought he comes in. Okay, so if you can play on left, then that'd be a good option for the left. But would you not rather? How much would it be for Rodrigo? How much is Rodrigo?
I'm not sure yet.
So it could be maybe 70, 80 million, something like that.
But honestly, if I was him, I wouldn't come to Arsenal. I wouldn't come. If I was Gyökeres, I wouldn't come. If I was any quality player, I wouldn't go to I wouldn't go to Arsenal because of the manager.
Yeah,
Gyökeres.
I think Gyökeres will come to United, honestly speaking, because he's kind of used to the manager.
He's not going to United.
I think. No, I feel like he goes to United.
You wish you go to United.
It's not even a wish. I feel like he knows the man. No, he knows the manager. I feel like that makes a difference that he's played for the manager. Some players they go for the manager. You know that happens. A lot of players actually go.
Oz.
He's going.
I know what you're doing. Like all that manager. Like yes, I know him from yesterday. Yeah, it doesn't matter if your team, if the club is in the mud. It's not going to matter. He's either good to Chelsea or Liverpool.
You think you've got Chelsea or Liverpool? Liverpool don't go number. They don't really buy number 9s anymore. They do the false number 9 thing. So I don't know about that one.
That could change. That could change.
I could actually see Liverpool more. I can see Liverpool more than Chelsea, honestly speaking. I could see Liverpool actually. I can see Liverpool.
Because remember, they're getting rid of Darwin Núñez.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, they'll need.
Yeah, so and he will replace him and be a better player.
Yes, I wanted to briefly go through, because that was on my mind. We close off on yeah, kind of give it the last 5-10 minutes. Close up on that. So let's start. We did our predictions at the beginning of the season. I think it was on the first week. Well, the first week of the season.
Yeah.
I don't even want to go through the whole table, but so I don't know if you guys might have even forgotten your predictions and different things and what you thought. And it's been a while now. But let's start with you, Mr. Wednesday. Yeah, let's start with Mr. Wednesday. Let's start with you. Yeah,
I
good
seem
old
to
prediction.
recall actually. My prediction actually had what's the name? Arsenal finishing top of the league. I didn't really have any points that I put in there. I
actually got you down as Liverpool. You actually said Liverpool. I got you down as Liverpool to win.
I said Liverpool, did I? Oh, right.
I remember yeah, I remember you saying it's Liverpool. Yeah, that was the first episode we recorded this season.
Right.
You said Liverpool. So you're one of the few that actually predicted Liverpool to win the league. So yeah.
Really?
You said
I
they'll
guess I
go
was
under the
spot on
radar.
there.
You're spot on with Liverpool.
Very, very spot on.
But yeah, you said City second, Arsenal third, Tottenham fourth. Yeah, and then you kind of thought Haaland top goal scorer Haaland, top assist Kevin De Bruyne. I think we're going on the whole City thing. City doing well. FA Cup winners Liverpool, Carabao Cup Chelsea. Champions League you put Leverkusen, by Leverkusen.
Well, that's not going to turn out that way, now, is it?
Europa League winners was Roma, and Conference League was your team, Chelsea. Player of the season was Salah. I think he got player of the season, so you got the two, right? You got those two.
Mm-hmm.
And a young player was Adam Wharton.
That one I remember.
I think because he'd been injured for half of the season. Who got young player of the season, by the way? I can't remember who got young player of the season. So,
check.
Salah got player of the season. Who got young player of the season? Who got young player of the season?
But I thought it would be it might do Skelly, but no bias there.
Yeah, and young player of the season.
Was it Adam Wharton?
Oh,
Gravenberch.
Okay.
How old is he?
He's young. He's at 21. At 21, 22?
23.
Yeah, pretty good. Yeah, it's pretty good.
Is that not out of
23.
age limit?
Oh, it's 23. 23. I guess it's usually the team that wins the league. They usually get both the young players. But I probably would have given it to either the guy from Bournemouth, the defender that moved to Madrid, or Morgan Rogers. One of the those two being. But I can understand that. I can understand Gravenberch, definitely. Okay, so let's move on to you, Rex. You had City as the winners. You had Arsenal, Liverpool, and Chelsea as the top, making the rest of the top four.
Almost correct.
Almost. I mean, you got Chelsea fourth. Yeah. And then Bromson definitely City. So we all thought City won't do that badly this year. So Villa, Newcastle, Tottenham. Kind of all put Tottenham and United high up in the top 7, top 10. Top goal scorer Haaland, top assist Maddison. FA Cup winners Chelsea, Carabao Cup Liverpool. Well, they were close. They got to the finals. That was close. Champions League Madrid. We didn't think Madrid would have a drop off like that. Who would have thought Arsenal would beat Madrid? One that's been the weirdest season. Europa League winners Lazio. I don't even know if they were in it, to be honest. Oh no, they were. Oh yeah, they were. They got quarterfinal, I think it was. Yeah. Conference League winners Athletic Bilbao. Okay, they were in the Europa League with us. Yeah, player this season Kevin De Bruyne, young player. Kobe. We'll put down Kobe Mainoo. Wow. He hasn't played enough games this season. think he definitely he'll grow into the role United for sure. So for me, young player, I went on the whole premise that Arsenal, I had the whole thing. It's third season now. 2 seasons Arsenal came second. I had the whole thing, third season, Arsenal will win the title, they get it over the line. I went the whole third time's the charm kind of thing. Arsenal, this is their season. So I went Arsenal first. I went Arsenal 1, City 2, Liverpool 3, Tottenham 4, and then United. So I was a bit kind of wishful here. So United and then Villa, Newcastle, with Chelsea 8th, and then so of course my table's a bit of a mismatch. And then actually I had Wolves down there. I thought Wolves would get relegated, but yeah. Let's start. Top goal scorer, Haaland. I think we all thought Haaland. That's top goal scorer. I thought Salah would be up there, but not necessarily top. Isak. I thought Saka would be one of the few. And then assists, I put Palmer. FA Cup winners, I put Man City as my FA Cup winners. They didn't. They didn't do it. I'm glad that, the underdog. Big up Crystal Palace for sure. Carabao Cup. I put Carabao Cup Tottenham. So I did think they'll win a trophy, but not the trophy that they did win. I thought they'll win one of the domestics. I put Champions League winners as Bayern Munich. So I did think Tottenham would win the trophy this year. I thought they'll break it, but it's what it is. They did it. They did it against United. Champions League winners Bayern Munich. I really thought they'll be Inter. I really thought they'll be Inter in the quarterfinals, but they didn't quite get it. They'll be back. And Europa League, I put United as Europa League winners. Somewhat kind of course, I could also put my team. But yeah, that's all on that. I put UEFA Conference League winners. I got Chelsea down there. I think if Chelsea played a team, the maximum, they played the strength to the strength, and Chelsea should win. I think Betis are not one of the strongest Spanish sides, so Chelsea should win. They've the best team in that league, for sure. I still think that Conference League is an insult to some of the teams. Like, I feel like, it's another thing of UEFA, but player of the season, I put Saka. So I went in the whole Arsenal thing. I thought Saka would get young player and player of the season. Arsenal winning the title, and so that was the. So it's a bit of a mix. A bit of a mix of a bit of a mix of different things. I think it was kind of a hard season to predict. So it's the most unpredictable season in, like we were saying, probably in history, in almost like Premier League history. I think it's so unpredictable, and but I'm looking forward to the next season for optimism for both United. Same positive faith in the manager, new players. Cunha, I'm excited to see Cunha there for sure, and in general, the season to see new teams. It'll be more competitive, the race. I think it won't be Liverpool so easily. City will be back. Chelsea will be stronger. Newcastle. Arsenal, they should be. All down to the recruitment. And so I think next season will be closer definitely for the top. Did you see Sunderland, the 3 teams that got promoted?
Yeah, saw that,
So Sunderland went up in the playoffs just a couple of days yesterday, just yesterday. Leeds and Burnley have already promoted. I think Leeds though. I think they've got a good team. They probably stay up. I think they have good players. If we just buy a few more, then they should be able to stay up. Burnley, I don't really know. They've got Ronaldinho's son playing for Burnley, so if you can inject some of that, what he learned from Ronaldinho, then Burnley could definitely do things next season. And then with Sunderland, I think they haven't got good enough players. They need to invest. They need to buy, because it's a big step up from the Premier League to Championship Premier League. So it's miles. It's a big step up. So they have to buy players. Simple as that. I was hearing that Bellingham, Jude Bellingham might be going to Madrid. Not Madrid. Joe Bellingham. We go to Dortmund. We go to Dortmund. On a But I don't know. For me, I would at least play in the Premier League, have a season in the Premier League, see how it is, see how you do. The Championship, going straight from Championship to say Bundesliga, it's a big step up again. I think it's putting too much pressure on these players. I mean, see how you do in the Premier League, do a season, and go from there. But bear in mind, they haven't been in the Premier League in years, these teams. So, yeah, it could be like the three that go up could go down again. It could be the similar kind of thing. Because it's a big step up. It's a lot. Yeah. I think Wolves definitely have to replace Cunha. That would be hard one to replace. So it'll be interesting to see what they do. But yeah, I think next season we can do all the predictions at the start of next season. That's in August, so still got long summer holidays, pre-season, and then there's a season again. So what? Whole 10 weeks. So yeah, looking forward to next season, 25-26, and yeah. Thanks so much for that season. Also going out for this season. Thanks so much for listening as always, and yeah, see you guys next season.
Okay.
Too many fans, too many fans, too many fans, too many fans. It's two fans in a pod. Hands to my God, we keep it tight with a squad. All the energy right, we keep it real on the blog. Touching on topics, love to catch up and chat about lots. More blessings to the power above. From all the football to life of the pitch, we're gonna dive into it, breaking it down. All the wins, all the misses. Yeah, we're here for the fans. You gotta love them to win them. It's two fans in a pod. It's two. Check it. Two fans in a pod. It's two fans in a pod.